What's going on, everybody? It's Cody. Welcome back to the channel. Two-game WNBA Saturday slate, 10K to first. Kind of a split slate. One game early part of the afternoon, one game tomorrow night. But really interesting games. I mean, this game probably isn't going to be that good, but Dallas looked a whole lot better against Minnesota yesterday. So this game could be somewhat competitive. I'm hoping for it at least. But I'll be live before lock of the first game, 30 minutes before. I've been having good crowds. I've been having a lot of fun answering questions, trying to help as many people as I can. But if you're free and want to come check that out before lock tomorrow, it's just right here on my YouTube channel. Just swing by and come hang out. But let's look at my lineup for tonight. The early game just tipped. Only two I played. I ended up not playing any Connecticut. I played Alicia Gray. She come in at 12%. I absolutely love that. Her usage has been really solid with Ryan Howard out. Just not shot the ball well. Tina Charles is chalky, as she should be. She's been fantastic of late with Ryan Howard out. Just needs to stay out of foul trouble and needs the game to stay competitive, and she should absolutely smash. And then I mentioned in the live stream how high I was on BG and Copper together. I love those two spin-ups. This late game is going to be way more popular than the early one because it had like a 20 difference in the over-under spreads. I mentioned how high I was on Uru, and I did like Burrell quite a bit, so I got a lot more exposure to the late game, but hoping Alicia Gray can really pop for me, get me there. But another thing I wanted to mention is Underdog has been doing their drafts. They have a $5 and a $3. The $3, it's 300 to first for Saturday slate. The $5, they're all four-person drafts. Some of them on the bigger slates get up to six people. But I mean, $5 entry fee, first place gets $3,000. I've been having an absolute blast doing these drafts. If you want to hop in and play them, they're a lot of fun. They don't take very long. You can manually enter your own rankings and rank players how you want it, and then just autopilot the drafts or whatever. But if you want to do these and you want my opinion on them, hop in the Discord. I do share my exposures. I can share rankings. If you want my personal rankings or see how mine square up with yours. But the odds for these two games tomorrow, Aces are a 12.5-point favorite on the road at Washington, over under 171. Wings at the Storm. Storm are 9.5-point favorites at home, over under 164.5. So let's go through these two games real quick, and then we'll get out of here. On the Aces side, Asia Wilson is $13,400. Woo! We're getting to the point where it might be okay to fade Asia Wilson. It's very hard, and it's not something that I would recommend lightly. It requires the strongest will to fade Asia Wilson. But at this price point, she has to hit almost 54 fantasy points just to 4x her salary. That's a lot of fantasy points. She pretty much has to hit her average just to hit value. So there is merit to fading her here. It's very hard. I wouldn't advise it, but I mean, there's definite merit, especially in tournaments. Jackie Young, 9,400. Love the price tag on her. She's been playing well. Like, she's a great scorer. She's been a lot more aggressive, especially since Chelsea Gray's come back. This game here against Connecticut, it just wasn't her. Like, these other two games, she's looked like really, really good. Aggressive getting her shot, aggressive getting to the basket, which is something that she's needed to be doing all season. The peripherals weren't the best this last time out, but they're typically pretty solid, so don't mind her at 9,400. 8,900 for Kelsey Plum. She had arguably her best, most complete game of the season last time out. 21 real-life points, 10 peripheral stats. She did take some peripheral stats away from Jackie Young. Shot 8 of 15. Don't mind the price tag on Plum. She's always a great tournament play because we know the upside that she brings. Chelsea Gray at 6,500. I mean, She played 27 minutes last time out, put up 22 fantasy points at 6,500. I'm expecting the minutes to just keep on ticking up. I would expect 30 to 32. She looks fantastic at 6,500. Probably the best play on the slate, in my opinion. Kia Stokes, 5,500. Perfectly fine play. Going to play low to mid 20s minutes. If she's playing well, they may extend her. I mean, 6 blocks last game. Not expecting that again. Put up 30 fantasy points. She lives in this like 15 to 20-ish range, so that's a bit of an outlier, but don't mind her at 5,500. Alicia Clark, 5,200. Minutes just aren't the best. She's not a very good fantasy point per minute player, so I don't have a lot of interest there. Tiffany Hayes all the way down to 4,800. Should play mid-teens minutes off the bench. She's fine. She has some upside, so there is merit to playing her at her price. Kate Martin, 3,500. I mentioned as Chelsea Gray starts to play more, her minutes are going to go down. Really, really hard to trust her because as Gray starts to play more, I mean, Martin is probably just going to start DNPing. Gustafson only saw 4 minutes. Just not someone you can play right now. Minutes are not secure. I'm fully out on her, even though she's a great player. Now on the Washington side, lots of outs here. Ariel Atkins, 9K. Matchup is great. The pace spot, it is an extremely fast-paced game. She shot 5 of 12, played 37 minutes. She'll get you some peripheral stats. I don't mind her as a tournament play. If this game's going to stay competitive, Ariel Atkins is going to have a good game. Stephanie Dolson, 8,300. Seems overpriced. With Aaliyah Edwards expected back, she is officially listed as probable. So, I mean, I thought she was going to play the last game against Indy. I mean, not against Indy. Their last game, who did they play? Connecticut. I thought she was going to play against Connecticut, but coach kept her out one more just to make sure she's fully healthy. Don't mind her at 7,900. Don't think she's a must. There is some foul concerns guarding Asia. Dolson's just overpriced with Edwards back. Maisha Hines-Allen is another one that's kind of overpriced with Edwards back. She's more in play. She played 34 minutes, shot 8 of 8. I'm not expecting that again, but I would expect her to play 15 to 20 minutes off the bench. We already know that Austin's out. Sykes is still out. Samuelson's now out. Inksler really struggled. Saw 18 minutes, so the minutes were there. Only took 3 shots, missed all of them. Did not have a very good game. She's probably out of play at her current price point with Edwards projected to be back. Van Loo, 5,900. Don't mind her. Only played 21 minutes, though. The minutes have been ticking down. She's not been very efficient. So really hard to trust her. Especially with SWK sitting here. Played 33 minutes last time out. Come off the bench. Played really well. Took a bunch of shots. I mean, 12 peripheral stats. Don't mind her. The price is a bit steep, though. But like I mentioned before, the matchup is great. It's the best pace spot in the WNBA. Jade Melbourne, 4,200. Saw 19 minutes. Assuming she's going to get good run, and I'm expecting her to because they are pretty thin on guards. Don't mind her at her price point. Dee Richards started, played 27 minutes last time out. Would like her if she starts again. So she would be in play at that price point for sure. Second game of the slate, Dallas at Seattle. On the Dallas side, Arike Gumbawale is going to play practically the entire game. I mean, 10.6K. Gotta love. I play her against Washington here, and she puts up 21 fantasy points. Then she plays Washington again, plays the entire game and puts up 42. Then she plays practically the entire game against Minnesota and puts up 45. We just know what to expect with Arike. If the peripheral stats are there, and they have been at a pretty consistent level of late, she just has one of the most unmatched ceilings of any player in the WNBA because she's going to shoot the ball an absolute ton. So love her for tournaments. Nat Howard had an abysmal game last time out. Was really, really good in the 2 before that. 23 minutes and 30 minutes, 33 and 42 fantasy points. Minutes ticked down because she wasn't playing very well. Last time against Minnesota, 17.5 fantasy points. I like her as a rebound target. 8,200 still seems a bit too cheap. Assuming she plays well, I'm expecting her to play low 30s minutes. Tierra McCowan had a fantastic game. Old Big T showed up. but she still only played 24 minutes. That is very telling for someone that had a great game. 33 fantasy points in 24 minutes. I think that is going to be her ceiling on minutes going forward. I think they're just going to start limiting her a little bit. And then when she doesn't play well, I mean, her floor is 10 minutes. Her floor is like low teens minutes. Monique Billings, 7,800. Minutes have been really up and down. She's had 2 good games of late, so don't mind her. Price seems a bit high, especially with her coming off the bench, and her minutes aren't just as secure can be, but with them limiting McCowan a little bit, so I don't mind Billings, but not someone I'd ever rush to play. Uzin, 5,700. Minutes aren't the best. They're ticking down a little bit. Odyssey Sims is here and had an Odyssey Sims game, 26 minutes, 33 fantasy points, 18 real life points. Not expecting that again. She has not been near this efficient last year, so I would not chase this game. I mean, her price point puts her in play for sure, but just don't expect 33 fantasy points again. J.C. Sheldon lost some minutes because of Odyssey Sims. Both J.C. Sheldon and Sevgi Uzin lost minutes because of Sims playing so well. I would expect Sheldon to play 26 to 30 minutes pretty much every night going forward. They need to develop their younger players. She did not have that good of a game last time out. Peripherals weren't there. Only took 3 shots, made all of them, but don't mind her at 5,100, but she's definitely not a must. Kalani Brown's just not in play. Only 5 minutes last time out, 6 minutes the game before that. They're just playing Mo Billings and Nat Howard as a small ball 5 for the most part. Lou Lopez and Suarez, I'm just out on. Like, they're just not getting enough run to be considered even on a 2-game slate. On the Seattle side, you guys see all this green here? Dallas is terrible on defense. They are very bad against practically every player on the court. Nat Howard is a plus defender, but as she's gotten older, her defense has kind of softened up a little bit. Love NECA and Ezzy, both of them just premier spots here. Great price points. Love both. Joel Lloyd absolutely popped last night against the Fever. Shot 10 of 15. I mentioned this is the Lloyd that can win you a tournament. She always has this type of upside. 50 fantasy point upside, 34 real life points. This is another game where she could absolutely do it again because Dallas is just so bad defensively. Lloyd will get open looks. Skylar Diggins-Smith, 9,100. She's fine. She's my least favorite of these big 4, but she's also the cheapest, so she's definitely in play for tournaments. I mean, it's a revenge game for her. Horston, price went up a little bit, but minutes are just super consistent for her, and she did not have that good of a game. 32 minutes, 21 fantasy points, only shot 2 of 9. The fact that she still played 32 minutes is very, very encouraging. Means that they're just not going to yank her if she's struggling. So super good price. I don't know really what I was going to say there, but I'm fine paying $7,200 for Horston, especially if she's going to get low 30s minutes. Whitcomb at 4K saw an uptick in minutes. She played well. This is probably the ceiling for minutes that she could get at 4K. She's fine. I just don't trust the minutes. Mercedes Russell, 3,700, got extended a little bit because of Ezzy foul trouble. Not someone I'm ever chasing, but the price is really cheap if you're trying to fit in a bunch of studs. Vivian's 3,400. Minutes are just not there. She's not worth playing. Everyone else down here is just not in play. Like Turner, Williams, and Nico just won't play at all unless the game turns into a big blowout. Same with Holmes. Her minutes are just really unsecure. So good luck to everybody. This slate should be quite a bit of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I wish there was more games, but for a 2-game slate, it could be a lot worse. Should be a good couple games for DFS, and that's what we like. But if you enjoy the content, leave a like. Really helps out the channel grow. I appreciate it, and we'll see you for the next one.